And come on in, let me share in my live here. It's so hot out here. It is 107 degrees here in Las Vegas. 107, as it is, we're living that really just fails to benefit everyone. And it was hot. And the truth be told, so many people have no concept of what they're entitled to. So failure is an option for them. And that's just what it is. But, as an individual who understands human rights are human rights, and every ethnic group, the state has an obligation to every ethnicity. As the dollars just roll on in, the state gets the money. Well, it's so unfortunate that so many people have chosen to do what? Just not, oh girl, we don't do politics. What are you talking about? And then it's difficult for my people, and I do mean my people, as they are considered people of color or formerly enslaved, or however you want to see yourself, just step right on in. Step right up. Hurry, hurry, before the show begins. Hey, and it's real. The show has begun, and we are center stage in an attraction. And quite frankly, failure has been an option. And what we do to our children when they're struggling in school is punishment. And what we don't understand is that we needed to take a look at the whole picture. And what does it look like? Well, you have to look at these schools and see how successful were they with the people who look like you. And should your children actually be placed over there? Because everybody can't work with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got a thing. They soon ought to know how to handle it. Well, they don't, because it's real. And, when you look at Stevie and you look at Beyonce, and she says she gonna fuck up the night. And she did. Hey, it's just real. Hello, and welcome to my stream. It is a stream, but I do have a podcast. I have to spend some real time figuring out how to put my podcast over there in YouTube, because I have tons of videos on YouTube, but not in the podcast area. But apparently you can make a list, a watch later or whatever, and then make that part of, you just did something. I'm not exactly sure. But me, you don't know anything about me. And what we know about the people that we do pay attention to, like Tupac and Snoop and, Chris Brown, and we just pay attention to them because they are entertainers. And what does that mean? They're there to entertain you. Just let me entertain you. And what will they do for entertaining you? I'm just trying to tell you. You just have to understand, people do anything for entertainment. But all that recent shit with Diddy, it's disgusting. And I was trying to figure out how to wrap my head around it, or how we could even talk about it. And, but then I see, there was an instance when we were living in Sacramento where the baby was found living in the backyard, and that criminal had pumped her up with those babies, and she was just living in the backyard, and her neighbors knew it. And the parole officers, I guess that what concerned me is everybody was peeping in on this creep, and him and his wife was just having a separate family in the backyard. And you don't know what people are doing, because it's just we're not neighborly anymore. And even if we are, people do. Nobody knows what's going on behind closed doors. So scandalous. And I'm saying, well, what people do for money. The deal is, what won't they do for money? They will do everything that they can for the money. So why are we in it? I mean, did you not know that gossiping was a sin? So I'm not really trying to get into that. But what I would like to get into is the failure rate of public education since 1964. For the black children, that is. But you just don't understand. We all pay for public education. Didn't you know it's mandatory? That's why we have the DA and the district attorney, and that's why they have this thing called CASA here. But more than that, they have this habitual disciplinary problem. And I said, oh, what is that? And they got an NRS code all about this habitual disciplinary problem. But I think I'm more concerned with the ability to cut and paste and put it in a document, because it seems that there are some programs that are restricting you copying data, and it matters what file you put it into, and it's just ordinary text. And I'm saying all these goddamn restrictions, but I guess you wouldn't know you were being restricted if you had never what? If you had never done it. And I'm saying real talk. Enough is enough. As failure is not an option in America. Now my hair is real, and I was bleaching it, and it was so short, but it was like every morning I just have to wet it, and it would just curl up and coil up. And if you go look at some of my pictures, I really liked it that way. But then I thought I would let it grow a little bit, but it keeps on breaking off. Well, because I put that hot thing in it every day. But it really doesn't matter. I don't like hair. I think I'm going to go back to the low cut, because I can rock it. I'm not a big woman. But, we need to concern ourselves with our health. We need to eat right. And, we need to have, we need to fast. And then you hear people talking about our body is full of tubes, different things going different places, but we never do any of the natural cleansing. Ask yourself, what are we doing? This is 2025, and we should know much more, and we don't know shit. No, not a thing. And then, and if you watch every morning, I get up, and I'm going to share this with you, and watch cspan.org. Now, there is an app for that, C-SPAN, but I think that's my problem, because there's an app for everything. And once you get the app, they're still controlling you. But you can only call in once a month on C-SPAN. And they used to say you could text us your concerns and leave them on Washington Journal, on Facebook. But then that was a privilege too. But you don't even know when you're dealing in these privileged areas, because the phone, did you not know? It rates you, and it just keeps everything you do. And as soon as you do something, it saves it to the cloud. And y'all just don't even understand this cloud technology. But the data device knows more about you than you know about yourself. Hell, it knows how many times you get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, because it's counting every time the light comes on in these goddamn smart cities. I don't know what to tell you, but I would tell you their freedom has never been free. And it is up to you, and it is up to me to understand that willfully making a choice not to participate in what they're doing, because they share those tax dollars with all those friends and their friends and their family members, and whatever. I'm saying the YMCA is still the YMCA, but every child's not in the YMCA. Same thing with the Boys and Girls Club. But these people have pensions and are living their best life, and it ain't with you. So in 2025, if you're going to be alive, wake up. Failure's not an option. So what are you doing? Understand that human development comes from the medical profession. And I would share concerns with my doctor to figure out what I needed to do with my children. That's what I did, and I was successful. And I suggest you do the same thing. Never accept the letter grade of F. And until we meet again, check out my podcast over there on Spotify. That's right. Parent Empowerment Half an Hour. And then find me, Citizen Anderson, over there on Podbean. But you could just catch me here, Darlene Anderson, 1958. Hello, Darlene Anderson on YouTube. Wake up in 2025. And y'all have a blessed day. And thanks for dropping in.